Playoff race, baby! Welcome in the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge and powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. We've got Bailey, we've got AJ, we've got Rudo coming to you on an Avalanche off day. We figured less than 20 games in the season for everybody, or maybe 20 games, I think, is the least amount played across the league. Time to talk playoff races a little bit. We've talked about the Avs-specific playoff race some. We'll talk about that more, and we'll get into the rest of the league because there are some things that could definitely impact the Avs potentially, or otherwise, the Avs competition. I think it'll be an interesting one. We would normally start with a practice update, but the Avs did not practice today, so no news is good news? Question mark?
I guess, maybe. No, we got most of our updates from Bednar last night and this morning via Altitude Radio and saying, like, Ross Colton's hopeful to be ready for next game. Really not sure. LOC.
Oh, it was next game for Roscoe?
I think so. Like, he's
okay, so
Bednar was
not
hopeful.
A thing at all, then.
Yeah,
cool.
Bednar was hopeful that he would be ready to go for Seattle.
As long as it's not long term.
Yeah.
We Gucci.
But even then, like, LOC
all
and Gabe.
All of them are back then.
Yeah, no, LOC and Gabe have a very similar return timetable, apparently, which is, go off, as the same with Lehkonen. So all are projected to be back before playoffs, which is
That's
nice.
what counts.
But yeah, as long as that is the case, we're sitting pretty, my friends.
I think that they are even being conservative on that because I've heard that those guys should be back, like...
Just
like if they're, I am expecting all of these guys back then before the start of April.
Just basing off what Bednar said about LOC was like, well, he's coming on the trip with us,
Yep.
but and understandably wanting to be cautious with it.
Right. But no, even
and you don't need to push it. I do wonder, like, if they go, let's say they lose their next two games. And Dallas is all of a sudden 1 point behind. I wonder if they're like, okay,
time to go.
Okay.
that timetable's moving up just a little bit. Yeah.
You're healthy. Stop. Yeah.
No. If you're talking about precautionary, like, LOC is the big name there, obviously. And it seems like whatever protocol it is, the team doctors and staff have him on is moving in the right direction. The first step from, skating individually and working on some of those, simpler movements and skating is getting him back into practice. And then you move into non-contact situations, which, based off what was going on, yesterday at morning skate and, taking him on trips like this, like, there's not going to be many more practices between now and playoffs. So you really have to maximize the time that you're getting with morning skates. And that's exactly what he's been doing. He's been getting into some of those non-contact situations. He's not wearing a non-contact jersey, but, like, you're getting him into those situations and introducing him back into the mechanics of hockey, and that's really important. So that seems to be moving along swimmingly.
I do think it's
a great point, though, Bailey, that not many practices left. Yep. So I'm just looking at the schedule going, I wouldn't practice here, or here. Like,
right.
There's just not... There's not much.
First week of April, pretty much, is the only real practice window.
And then even then, like, how much of that, like, I will assume that you're going to get a couple practices. They're not going to be full by any means. I don't think you see
straight optional territory.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you see McKinnon in an optional practice for the rest of the season. Like, one of those kinds of situations. Like, there's no more. It's all maintenance from here on out.
Yeah, Avs not unused to this. They're certainly a team that has never practiced a ton, even before the condensed schedule of this season.
Yeah.
I do think it is a more interesting conversation with LOC because, and I understand, they're not identical situations with his last hip problem, but we saw it took him 15, 20, 25 games to really get up to speed when he returned last time. Mm-hmm. And I do wonder how long it takes him to get up to game speed and become the LOC that we all know and love in actual games.
That really does hurt, too, when you consider just how good he was in the playoff run for the Avs.
Their third best player in that series.
Second highest in scoring during that Dallas series.
Yep.
Like, that's...
You want to know why your team lost?
Right?
Not wrong. Yeah.
Really not wrong. But, like, if that's the version of Logan O'Connor you're expecting to come out of this, like, that's... there are unrealistic expectations here. So I think what you get back in Logan O'Connor when you're not talking about the production side of things is far more valuable.
Yeah. The Avs are, I think in a lot of ways, not a complicated team.
No.
You understand what they want, what they look for, and how they want to play, and LOC fits a lot of those things when he's at his best. So,
yeah, and like, no offense to a Gavin Brindley or a Zakhar Bardakov, right? Who I think have both shown that they might have like long NHL careers if they want them. Bardakov in Colorado's a little iffier for me, but like both of those guys have had like respectable rookie years. It's really difficult to hang on as rookies with the Avalanche at the bottom of a roster. But Logan O'Connor's just not, there are no questions about LOC. Logan O'Connor is like one of the premier fourth line wings in the NHL. He's one of the best PK guys. He's one of the elite defensive wings. Like 20 years ago, he would have been a Selke guy the way that he played last year.
Yep.
Because he was so high end in his own zone that, it's just a huge part of your roster.
And he has
that you've not had all year. And Parker Kelly's been amazing, but Kivi Ranta's not been the same caliber of player as he was last year. Mm-hmm. Jack Drury's been your third line center most of the season. Like this is a really different dynamic that he brings to the bottom of your lineup, where you're like, this is not only a player who belongs, this is a good player in this job.
Well, and you look at Gavin Brindley, Yoel Kiviranta, and Zakhar Bardakov, and the thing that LOC has consistently brought at the NHL level that they haven't is not consistency in scoring, but a floor of scoring that is enough. You know you're going to get 20 to 25 points out of LOC every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what you aren't getting out of Kiviranta this year. That's what Gavin Brindley is close to, but not quite hitting that mark. Obviously, Bardakov, the production just has not been there, despite Bardakov actually played great the other night, but no points. Maybe he got an assist. I forget if he got it at the secondary on the nuke goal, maybe, but no. Tough life.
Nope. Yeah. And that's like Zakhar Bardakov has 1 goal in 49 games. That's fine if you're a defensive defenseman. If you're a forward of any kind, and I don't even care what your ice time is, that's not good enough. You're nowhere even near good enough.
The best defensive forward in the league has got to get the 5.
Right. Like Luke Glendening is the only been in the NHL because he wins a ton of faceoffs, and even that guy gives you right in that range every single season where you're like, come on, Barty, you need just a little bit. And he's had some chances in the last week where you're like, okay, he's going to score again. Everybody keeps getting hurt, so he's going to stay in the lineup forever, but he's going to, there's one coming in the next couple of games. Honestly, the Seattle game would be the perfect venue for him to get a little, to get a little box score love.
Yep.
Then Seattle can trade for him in the offseason. Perfect. All right,
exactly.
Done.
Yep. He's the next Ben Myers.
Oh my God.
Well, Ben Myers was scoring big goals for Seattle before he was on Seattle, so.
That stings. That's such a dagger.
Next, you guys are going to start talking about Riley Tufte, and then I'm really going to lose it.
Actually, if I never talked about Riley Tufte again, that'd be amazing. That guy sucks.
I really liked Riley Tufte, but he just is not an NHLer, unfortunately.
Nope.
Anyway. We can move on to our main topic of the day. I want to get into all of the playoff races around the NHL. But I wanted to ask you guys a question.
Yeah, random AHL guys we don't like watching. Yeah.
That list is long.
That's a whole other pottage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny.
I just wanted to ask this question because when I saw this stat, it kind of blew my mind. How many regulation wins do you think the LA Kings have? Don't look it up.
Can you tell me how many wins they have so I can go from there?
They have 26 wins.
15.
Have a guess, Bailey?
You're talking about
In regulation time.
in regulation. 17, maybe?
You were both one off. It's 16.
Okay.
Wow, we got prices righted. Okay.
Which is the second least in the NHL.
Wow.
Only Vancouver has less at 13.
Wow.
And yet, LA is one game in hand for Seattle out of a playoff spot.
I mean,
The
there's
West
only
is
one
scuffed.
team. There's only one team in the Pacific Division that has won more games than lost. So I believe this.
It's true. And when you account for overtime losses, that is a fact. And I don't want to make this sound like we're getting ahead of ourselves when it comes to the Avs. The Avs still have to close out things and win the Central to play the second wild card.
Yeah.
We'll get to that race in a minute. But looking at the Western wild card, none of these teams are all that good. Utah's in the wild card one spot, and it would be not impossible, but tough for someone to take that away from them. I think the only, if San Jose wins all their games in hand, I think it might get interesting. But
A team that has gone 3-5-2 in their last 10, by the way, would need to win all of their games in hand.
You're looking at the wild card race, and Utah's the only one above 500 in the last 10. So you have Seattle that's 4-6, LA's 3-6-1, and you just mentioned San Jose's 3-5-2. I don't think Nashville's really part of that conversation, and the rest of the West is clearly out of it.
I mean, Nashville's one out, but they obviously sold at the deadline, so it's like you won't be surprised if they cough it up. But like Winnipeg's the only one of those teams that's been playing any kind of decent hockey lately, and they're still 5 out.
I was going to say, they're still playing below 500 hockey as far as their regular season goes, too.
Yep.
They're 5 out, and they don't have a games in hand advantage like someone like the Sharks does. So,
And they play the Avs like 3 times.
which doesn't help them. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Or,
3
you know.
times the next 2 weeks those teams play each other.
Schedule's wild. They really
It's so
packed
weird.
the last month of the season with all the Central Division matchups, didn't they?
Yeah.
I
they
was
did.
looking at the last week and a half, and like the time after the Olympic break, and it was I obviously didn't do much of my research because the amount of Central team divisional matchups there have been for the not just in this last week too, but when you look ahead,
Yep.
you've got Dallas 2 more times.
Yep.
I mean, that is ridiculous to me. Having to play them 3 times after the Olympic break is crazy, and that it's not just them.
It feels funny. Like in some ways the NHL was trying to set up, we'll get them after the trade deadline. And like these are important games. They still matter.
Yeah,
But then
of course.
you look at teams' lineups and it's like, yeah, Dallas has 2 of their best players hurt, and the Avs have 4 dudes hurt now. And it's like, this didn't work out
They
the way
knew
you hoped.
something.
Yeah.
They were like, the Central's going to be a gauntlet. How can we make the playoffs worse for them?
It's a tough spot. It's
Yeah.
a tough spot with that.
I do wonder, like, clearly the Colorado Dallas, like, if we can put them in the second half of the year, but I do wonder, like, where they tried to pick matchups and like try and get those end of season matchups that are interesting. Like St. Louis darn near won their playoff series last year, against the President's Trophy winner.
Imploded
And the Avs
this
play
year.
them twice in the last week of the season, the second to last week of the season. They play them in back-to-back games, and it's like, I wonder if they thought this could be a really good matchup, and instead you're like, the Avs are like, they might sit everybody for those games.
St. Louis is actively tanking now. Do want to get into the race a little bit more, but we do need to take our first break of the show. So let's shout out a few of our sponsors. The official craft beer of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast and all of DNVR is Breckenridge Brewery. I'm obviously a fan of the Avalanche Amber Ale, but they have dozens of different beers to try. Then you'll have something you like if you like beer at all. The Avalanche Amber was one of Breck's first hits. It's a true classic, and there really aren't that many good amber ales out there anymore, so I highly recommend it. But whatever you want, Breck Brew has that beer. 33 years of doing it for Breck Brew, and it all comes down to their love and passion for making good beer. It's made with 100% renewable energy. You can try other beers like the Mile High City, Broncos Country Pale Ale, the Fun Slinger. They have rotating seasonals, and they even make good company hard seltzer if beer is not your thing. So make sure you're getting with Breck Brew. Check them out at the online beer locator on breckbrew.com to find it near you. They're available in all 50 United States, so pretty much no matter where you are, you can find some Breck Brew. They also have great merch if you want to go check out that. A lot of people love their hats. Again, breckbrew.com to find them near you and find all of their merch. The official craft beer of DNVR is Breckenridge Brewery. And once you've found yourself a Breck Brew to drink on, or maybe something else, you got to get the quality sunglasses that come from Shady Rays. We all know that moment where you left your sunglasses at the beach, or maybe on the roof of your car, or maybe at a gas station on a road trip, and those things are gone. Well, Shady Rays has your back. Not only do they make sunglasses that are made for real life, they're good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive, but if you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. So you can actually wear your sunglasses on hikes, at concerts, or wherever you might be going and not worry about it. That's how Shady Rays has your back. You can go right now to shadyrays.com and use code DNVRSR to get 40% off 2 pairs or more of polarized sunglasses. That's code DNVRSR at shadyrays.com for 40% off 2 pairs or more. Get with Shady Rays, the best sunglasses you can find. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, Western wild card race. Now, generally speaking, I think as a wild card team, you're probably more focused on just making sure you get into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But there's a pretty distinct difference between wild card 1 and wild card 2 this year in the West, right? And regardless of who wins the Central, whether that's Colorado or Dallas, looks like it probably shouldn't be Minnesota at this point, but throw them in there too. Would you rather face them as wild card 2 or get to wild card 1 and you're potentially facing Anaheim, Edmonton, or Vegas in the first round?
1. I mean, the Pacific Division's not good.
Yep.
Like we saw, just frankly, look at the game last night.
Yep.
The Avalanche are down 4 of their top 9 regular forwards if they were healthy, and Edmonton scrapes one out on the back of special teams.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not Edmonton. Like, Edmonton is always going to be a hard out because McDavid and Draisaitl and an elite, like a truly historically elite power play unit is going to keep them in games. But if you can handle the power play, that's obviously a very large if. Edmonton's not the hardest out at 5v5. And they're not very good defensively. They don't defend the rush very well. Their goalies aren't very good. Like, they're just those guys at the top of the roster will always scare you, but the guys at the bottom of the roster maybe don't belong in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
You never want to count chickens before they hatch or whatever. Every night, every game, playoffs, not playoffs, you have to go in and do the job and win.
Right.
But
yeah,
if you're Utah, you don't want to play Colorado or Dallas in round 1.
No.
It's not even that, right? It's not just Colorado or Dallas in round 1, but it's either Colorado, Dallas, or Minnesota in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
True. You're either in the Pacific side or the
going,
Central side. Yeah.
yeah, because you're going to have to go through two of those teams just to get to the conference final.
Yeah,
And we've
that's
seen with Dallas over the last couple of years, going through that Central gauntlet is work. And you get to the conference final, and you have been like, Dallas has been running out of gas because it has required a lot to get out of that bracket. And the Pacific Division hasn't been the same. Edmonton gets a free pass against LA every year. I'm excited to see how that eventually comes to fruition this season. Like,
it could happen.
It's just not such a scary side of the bracket right now on March 11th. It's just, if you're trying to make a deep run and you want to win a playoff series, you want to get some really good experience that's not getting bopped, you don't want anything to do with the Central Division.
No. That's ultimately, but I mean, I don't know. Something I always used to grow up hearing is, if you want to make a deep playoff run, all you need is a wild card spot. Like, there are teams that have, gone on their Cinderella runs, having been in a wild card 2 spot. It doesn't happen very often, but that's all you need, right? Like, that's your ticket in, and sometimes that can get players and teams over that hump, but that's maybe in situations where you're not looking at the 3 of the 4 best teams in the league being in one division.
I mean, right. Let's be honest. Not all wild cards are created equal here. Utah, based purely on their own performance, would be in second place in the Pacific Division if they were not in the Central. That's a little bit different than a Seattle team that is scraping by on 67 points right now in a playoff spot.
It's also, like, this year is also going to be a freak season because the Pacific Division right now, Anaheim is on a 96-point pace to win a division. That would be one of the worst division winners we've had in a long time in an 82-game season.
One more point than the Avs have right now.
Like, yeah, like, they're Edmonton and Vegas right now are the 2 and 3 seeds. They're on 91-point paces. 91 points is not good enough to get you into the postseason.
Most years?
Yeah, I would say the 9 out of 10 doesn't even feel right. It feels like it'd be like once in the last 20 years that would get you in. Like, it's historically bad. San Jose right now, San Jose and Seattle, 87-point paces. We're talking about them as a wild card team. These aren't good teams.
Yep.
I don't disagree. And in some ways, that actually makes the playoff race a little bit more exciting. So right now, if the season were to end today, it would be Utah and Seattle. Do we think that holds through the last 20 games of the season, or can someone like LA or San Jose make a push and make it in?
This is maybe a feel-good answer for me. I really want San Jose to get into that.
I think they would be the
spot.
funnest choice for sure.
Yes.
I don't know that they'll do it, but
Yeah, it just, like, I'm not super convinced with how injury-ridden LA is right now.
I mean, LA's
And
just got a host of problems.
yeah, like, that's one of the many things plaguing them. It's probably going to happen because of the whole, Edmonton invisible string, but I don't know. Like, you take them out of the running, and it's Seattle and San Jose. I like the high-end star power in San Jose a little bit more.
You don't need to tell me reasons to not like Seattle. I'm on board with this.
I want Seattle.
Yeah.
You want the Kale McCarr booze?
You just want the ultimate Demon Slayer run. Like,
Yeah, I want the revenge tour. I wanted to go Seattle, Dallas, Vegas. That's what I want. Those 3 teams, line them up, knock them down. I want it to be, okay, everybody's talking noise about the playoff series that the Avs have lost over the years. Like, great. Go get all the teams that beat you. Go get all of them. I think that would be fun. It's the Grim Reaper meme, knocking on the doors. I want all of that. Like, I want Seattle for that reason, from just a watching it like fun hockey perspective. Do I want to watch the Seattle Kraken in the postseason, or do I want to watch Macklin Celebrini? Give me a break.
not a hard choice. Yeah.
Yeah, of course I want Celebrini. The Kraken are an awful watch, but I want them to get through. I want Colorado, Seattle.
Yep.
I mean, the concept is fun. Colorado has to actually go out and do it in that scenario too, though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a all these fans like to talk the talk. Now your team's got to go walk the walk kind of series.
I mean, a Stanley Cup is Stanley Cup. I don't care if you have the easiest path or the hardest path. If you win the thing, you win the thing.
Yeah. We don't really talk about a team's path that much in the NHL, like as part of the legacy. Yeah. Like years later, we don't really talk about the path. That's an NBA thing. Oh, which superstars did they go through? You hear people trashing the Jokic path to that NBA championship. Oh, well, the 8th seed this and the 6th seed this, and then it's LeBron's Lakers, right? Like, we don't really have that in the NHL because, like nobody's looking at it going, oh, you beat the McKinnon Avs. Okay.
Yeah. Hockey's one of those ones. There's so many moving parts to it.
Yeah, it's just so hard. It's so hard to win a playoff series. It's so hard to win multiple playoff series. Like it's just like an acceptance of winning a Stanley Cup is extremely difficult. You don't really care about your path after. You care about it when you're in the moment, and that is part of winning a Stanley Cup. It needs to set up for you so that you don't play that one team that is just just built to stop you. It's just and teams don't get built like with that in mind. They don't, not in the NHL.
Teams that do that lose in the first round to some random challenger.
Exactly. Like you don't like you can build. You can look at where you failed and go, okay, we need to get a little better in this area. We've seen this this is the classic teams trying to get veteran experience. You want the big, you want the tough. Every team always believes that when they fail, it's because they weren't tough enough. And most of the time, it's because they're not good enough. But you need to be both. There's got to be both. And you've got to get really lucky in a lot of little ways along the way. It's why winning a Stanley Cup is the most, it's just an incredibly rewarding thing to be a part of. It's the best.
You hear athletes in other sports talk about that being the hardest trophy to win.
Yep. I don't know about pretty well agreed upon, but I think most reasonable sports fans, the NHL playoffs are the best playoffs in North America. It's pretty widely considered to be the case. It's really hard for a reason. Mm-hmm. You have to understand that going in, whether the 1 seed or the 16 seed, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I wish we had 1 through 16.
Just give me 1 through 8, brother.
How much better would this year's postseason be if it was 1 through 16? Now I know that there's travel considerations or is always a mess.
That'd be
but
brutal.
Right now, today, do you know what the 1/16 matchup would be in round 1?
I assume it's Seattle, unless Boston is really bad or something.
No, it's Colorado Edmonton.
It's Edmonton?
Right now, it would be Colorado Edmonton in round 1 in a 1 through 16 matchup. Yeah.
Yikes.
I guess games in hand. Yeah, okay. That would be funny.
Well, and it's Edmonton. They're also tied with Vegas, so you're right in that. It would be fun. It'd be a lot more fun than what this currently is, where a guarantee of 2 of Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota will be done by the conference
finals. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's messed up, man.
I do want to get into that, but before we take our break. Is Anaheim for real?
I think they can be. Depending.
What is for real? They've got a negative goal differential. They've barely won more games than they've lost, which kudos. They're on a mid-90 point pace. In a normal season, we would be talking about them the way that we're talking about San Jose, where we're like, hey, these guys are like your plucky upstarts, just like unexpected, trying to scrape in at the bottom of the standings. And instead, they're only in division contention because the division is historically bad. I'm not worried. No, I don't think so. No.
I would lean toward no as well. Not necessarily because of just how bad the Pacific Division is, but you're looking at this Anaheim team as, I don't want to say young and stupid, but
they're young and inexperienced.
Sure, that's the nice way to say it. Yeah, they're not a
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
not a team that's really been here before with this core and
No.
what they're building. So
That's fair. No, I
They
think
are-
if you in a first round matchup, I think there's something there. But as far as deep playoff run goes, that they don't really exist in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, just pulling up their team card real quick, they are 7th in expected goals for, 30th in expected goals against, 19th in goal share, 25th on the PK, 25th in goalie, 18 in finishing, 23 in power play. The only reason that we're having a conversation about this is because that division sucks.
yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I don't think I would have Anaheim as a contender by any stretch of the imagination. And I do think catching Utah in the first round could be one of the worst possible outcomes for them. But one of those teams has to lose if that's what it ends up being.
Yeah, it's I think the reason that a lot of us are going to give a little bit of love to Edmonton and Vegas is reputational.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we think that when they get to the postseason, they'll finally be good. They'll be the best versions of themselves. And
Vegas has
previous
made a
6
career out
months,
of doing that.
yeah, Edmonton hasn't had a good start to a season in how long? Like, they
Right.
always come out of the gate really slowly, look like they're a bunch of bums, and then catch fire for the second half of the season. That's exactly what's happening right now. It's just they're also in a bad division that allows them a lot of safety to do that.
Yep.
All right. We need to take our second break of the show, so let's shout out a few more of our sponsors, and then we can get into the East and the Avs. The official vehicle of DNVR is Toyota. They have a vehicle for everyone. Trucks have been in their DNA for generations, but they've also got SUVs like the 4Runner or sedans like the Corolla. Whatever it might be, Toyota has you covered with 17 different models with all-wheel or four-wheel drive available, so you can keep that grip on the roads, or if you like going off-roading, you can do that too. And when you're someone like me and you see the gas prices going up, Toyota has 16 different vehicles with hybrid, including hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. It's more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker out there. So get in with Toyota today at your local Front Range stores, including AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevens Toyota East in Aurora, Stevens and Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is not just the official vehicle of DNVR, they're the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche too. Toyota lets go places, whether it be the 4Runner, the Tundra, or anything else in between. Once you got yourself a Toyota, you also got to make sure you're taking care of yourself when it comes to your health with Common Spirit Health. They're more than just hospitals and clinics. They're a team of passionate and expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being, woven into the very fabric of your community. From preventative care to advanced surgical solutions, their skilled physicians and caring staff are here for you, offering personal treatment tailored to your unique needs. You can expect a blend of cutting-edge technology with a commitment to human kindness at their 20 hospitals and 240 clinics and care sites right here in Colorado. Whether it's a routine checkup, managing a chronic condition, or responding to an emergency, you can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health is also the official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos, so you know you're getting quality care whether you're a tip-top athlete or just a weekend warrior. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast. Let's look at the East a little bit here. Carolina pretty comfortably should have the Metro wrapped up. I think that's fair to say. The Buffalo Sabres. Are they living proof that toxicity starts at the top of the organization and works its way down? They've been the best team in the East since the firing of their GM.
This is...
Yeah, maybe.
If you're going to talk about, something to kick them in the you-know-whats to show you, like, hey, nothing is off the table, like, they're a team that's very well aware of the reputation surrounding them. One of the worst, playoff droughts in sports history. They have nothing to lose right now. This is a team that has for the most part, gone as all in as they could and say, hey, we have an actual shot here. Now, if we're talking about the deep run side of things and trying a team that's going to go far, I don't know as though I have a whole lot of faith, because you look at the experience side of things, and this is a team like taking the makeup of the actual team out of it. Like, you're talking about a team that has missed playoffs for how long?
Yeah.
Like, I think they look at this and they're like, oh, we're at the, we have the opportunity to be at the top of our conference. Oh, we can make the playoffs. That's step one.
It's not that Buffalo is like disastrous defensively by any stretch of the imagination, but they do seem to be a team that kind of just outscores their problems sometimes. And that's really easily doable in the regular season. But pretty much every year we see those teams get into the playoffs and run into problems. When you start slipping up and making those mistakes, and goals are harder to come by, and the way the game gets played just makes it more grindy. I do wonder if Buffalo can survive that. But as far as Buffalo is concerned, you know what? Congratulations to them in the fact that they're going to make the playoffs this year, barring catastrophe. I have to find a new meme every offseason now, other than dunking on the Buffalo
This is all
Sabres.
because of heated rivalry, don't you know?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Facts.
They made fun of Buffalo in the show, the team and the city, and since that happened, they've just been on a trajectory.
They said, hold my beer.
I believe you. I definitely believe that, and not the firing of Kevin Adams was the difference, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a 10-point lead on the top team out of the postseason with 17 games left to play. Like, I think that's pretty tough to.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough to lose that.
If they blow that, it would be a bigger story than them making the playoffs.
It would be. Yeah. I mean, that's downright New York Metsian if they blow that.
Yeah. Truly would be a spectacular one. Look, East remains very competitive. It's not what it was before the Olympic break, where it was like literally no one is out of this. You've seen some teams drop out. New York had already been out of it, but Toronto fell off a cliff. New Jersey's now squarely out of it. Florida sold at the deadline. They're not going to make it. You look at the wild card race, and it gets a little bit complicated because you have a team like Detroit and Montreal battling at the bottom of the Atlantic, or the bottom of the playoff spots at the Atlantic. Obviously, the Metro, extremely competitive for multiple teams, but you have Detroit and Boston in the 2 wild card spots. You have Columbus 2 points out chasing. And then you have Ottawa a little bit further out, but has some games in hand.
And playing great hockey right now.
Yeah.
Like Ottawa's the team with heat. And that's when we go through these conversations, we're always looking at the team who's got 7 wins in their last 10 games. And we're like, that's the team that scares you, right? In the moment. Right now, that's Ottawa, because Detroit and Boston have both come out of the Olympic break totally flat.
How are we viewing this one then? Do Detroit and Boston hold on? Can one of these other teams make a run? Does somebody else fall out?
I think Columbus is an interesting conversation for one of those wild card spots. Ottawa, obviously. The East has been so close all year that it really could be anybody's game at this point.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not nearly as confident about the East as I am about, there being a maybe final 3 in the West. Like, you're talking about spots being like 73 through 79. Like, if you've got less than 20 games left, like that, anything can happen in that stretch. Ottawa's got to go. They've got to hit rock bottom in order to take themselves out of that conversation. I don't see them doing that.
Yeah, Ottawa has always been, they were a team that I gave a lot of love to coming into the season as one of my surprise. Like, I thought they were going to be really good, and then they came out with horrid goaltending. But the skaters have been good all season. That's a good defensive club.
I'm talking about a team that's hard to play against.
Yeah, and like they're well built enough that like I would buy stock in them being able to chase down Boston or Detroit if those teams just can't quite get through their own problems. And like those are two rosters full of really mediocre hockey players. So a bad 15 games for them it wouldn't be a huge shock. All Ottawa has needed all season long is to get saves. If they got any semblance of decent goaltending, they were going to be a problem. Now they're a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Are they enough of a problem, though? That is the question. And look, we're a Colorado Avalanche podcast. I watch plenty of East Coast games, but I'm not going to pretend to know the deep intricacies of the playoff race over there. I can't tell you what Ottawa's schedule is for the rest of the season. We're not as invested in the East as we are in the West. So
very true.
There is...
Frankly, I don't care. It's purely I'm just enjoying a quality postseason race out there. Yep. Because out West, it's just a bunch of kids hitting each other with pool noodles.
There is not near as much to play for some of the teams out West in that regard. It'll be interesting. What we always say about the East is if the Avs are playing an East Coast team in the playoffs, something has gone right. So,
yep. Best case scenario. You play an East team.
Yep. We'll leave that conversation there, and we'll move over to the Avs race that we've spent all year talking about. Not mathematical, but at what point do we count Minnesota out of this race? They have more games played than both Dallas and Colorado. They are 8 points back of Colorado. Colorado has 2 games in hand. They are close with Dallas, only 3 points back, but Dallas has a game in hand. And when we're looking over their last 10, Minnesota went 7-2-1 in their last 10. They lost 4 points to Dallas, and they lost the 1 point directly to the Avalanche in the game they played head-to-head.
Yeah, they've picked up 1 point of ground in the last 10 games on the Avs.
Yep. That's how hard it is.
Yeah, I don't think Minnesota is realistically in the division race anymore. Them going head to head with Dallas, like Dallas has obviously been incredibly hot lately, but even then, just going over their last 10, they've gained 5 points of ground on the Avalanche, and that's with them 5
points back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's with them literally losing. Well, I think one time. It was just the Avs game. The shootout to the Avs. I think it's the only loss they have in like 12 games.
At least 11.
So, so you're talking about a team that is
playing their best hockey.
Yeah, this is peak for them, and they're doing it without Mikko, like, and Rupe Hintz, like, full credit. They've been awesome. Mm-hmm. They are good. We knew they were going to be good.
But
they are. And
if they lose 2 more games for the rest of the season, they're probably going to win the division. But that's a crazy ask.
Unless those 2 are to the Avalanche, then that might sink them. But I mean, they've put themselves in position to make this a conversation. 5 points back. They've got 1 more game played, and there are 2 games remaining head to head. Those 2 head to head games obviously are enormous.
Well, not to cut you off, but the fact that they play each other twice is in fact our Xfinity X Factor of the week. Wow. Make sure you get with Xfinity. Get their 5-year price guarantee. Xfinity, imagine that. Look, it's the NHL, so I think in the back of all of our minds, there's that itchy feeling that both of those games are going to be overtime games and they're going to be 3-point games, and the NHL is going to be stupid and those aren't going to be that meaningful. But if either team is able to win both of those games clean, it creates a massive shift in the standings, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah, decent enough to be noticeable. The gap towards the beginning of the season, just realistically, like reality check, is not there anymore. Like you're looking at a gap that puts Dallas within reach, and that's something to be noted. You look at divisional points mattering more, and this is absolutely the case. Regulation is the big key there, though. And, Bednar's kind of talked about it over the last couple games and saying, like, those gritty, take you to overtime, take you to shootout type games, they're exhausting.
For sure.
The schedule is already exhausting enough as it is. So I think, yes, from an exhaustion, like, yes, you're a professional athlete, but there's that exhaustion factor. You want to save as much, as many legs as possible heading into playoffs. There's also something to be said about this confidence factor, too. We talked about the slaying demons role, and I think that's, a big confidence booster for a team like the Avs. If you can go and beat a team like Dallas in regulation, just to show that you are capable of slaying that demon in regulation. Like that's going to be the huge key for me here, is just you don't, last thing you want to do is have a team living in your head rent free. And that right now is Dallas for the Avs and vice versa.
This is a complete sidetrack, but just something that crossed my mind. Why is it that the two best teams in the NHL are both having alleged goalie controversies? I don't know how real either of them are, but you have portions of the Avs fan base calling for Wedgwood and portions of the Dallas fan base calling for DeSmith to be the starter.
Well, and I think it's more real in Dallas because Casey DeSmith has outplayed Jake Ottinger by a lot this year.
Sure.
And with Blackwood, it's when Blackwood has been really good this year, but obviously his last two games haven't been great. And even saying that about last night, you want to put that on Mackenzie Blackwood when 4 goals got scored within 3 feet of the net on horrible defensive break. That stop. The game he played in Dallas was a train wreck, and he was awful in it. And there's no, just true.
I think,
but he got screwed in it against Edmonton last night.
Yeah, this is true.
In Blackwood's case, look, I think it's fair to say, hey, he gave up 3 on 9. You would like a save, but one of those would have been a great save had he made one.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly what Bednar said in the game. Was I don't blame him for any of them, but you look at the kind of saves he was making in the third period, you're like, that would have been nice.
And I looked into this the other day. When it comes to Blackwood, he has a little bit of the, when it's a bad game, woof, is it bad?
It goes bad, yeah.
But across the stretch of consistency, when you're looking at stretches of games, he's proven to be more consistent than Scott Wedgwood is this year. Wedgwood has almost exclusively hit his 5th game in a row and completely collapsed. Whereas Blackwood has multiple stretches of 6, 7, 8 games. Now, they're alternating. That isn't necessarily 8 straight games, but just a little bit more consistency there from Blackwood across the course of the season.
Yeah.
In Dallas's case, Jake Ottinger looks awfully mortal this year.
Yeah, I think he's at a sub 900 on the season. He's not been good.
Yep.
He wasn't very good against the Avs the other day. A couple of those goals against are pretty stinky.
Certainly that Natchez one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. The Natchez one is not great. Even the Nichushkin one at the end, you're kind of like,
yeah.
Well, that even makes me feel a little fishier, too, considering that he is on year 1 of an 8-year deal, too, and it's looking this bad for him in Dallas.
Yeah,
right
and,
now.
and with Ottinger, it's always been a little, when he's at his best, it's great, right? He looks like the top 10 goaltender. He's been really good, but his stretches where he's not been good have lingered a little bit too long. And you are kind of I'm wondering if he ends up being more like a Jordan Binnington, when he's really
Hot and
good,
cold,
he's phenomenal, but when it goes bad, it's not great. But the fact that Dallas consistently has such a quality team in front of him masks it a little bit. So
Maybe so.
Yeah, and with Wedgwood and Blackwood, I think I'm nervous about it come playoff time because I think there's such trust in both guys at this point, and they both have been so good that I worry that they're going to get into a situation where they're going to give Blackwood game 1, and if it
see how it
doesn't go
goes.
very well,
Yeah.
then they turn to Wedgwood, and then if that doesn't go very well, then they have to go back to Blackwood, and then you end up in this nobody really has confidence anymore, and everybody's kind of wondering what's going on.
Ask Boston how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's why tandems in the postseason have consistently crashed and burned, because it's so much easier to have that confidence of what's going on when you know the hierarchy, and you know here's one, here's two. Tandems have always been really iffy territory in the postseason. It's been great for this regular season. They both have been really good. I feel good about both guys still. I'm really not. I'm shocked at how confident I am in when they're both in net. I don't feel iffy about it because it's not outside of the Dallas game. It's not like there have been games where you're looking at it going, what's going on with these guys in net?
Yeah.
It's not the case.
No, I mean, that was going to be the exact point that I bring up too, is you always hear about the hot hand in playoffs and the, coaches sticking with their hot goaltender, and you don't mess with a hot goaltender. I don't know, does the Avalanche have a cold goaltender?
Yeah, look,
which makes that conversation even harder.
The hot, it's easy to stick with the hot hand, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make a lot of decisions. He's playing well, play him. It's when one of the hot hands cools off, are they going to come out of it, or do you play the other guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
So it can lead to tough spots. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to the Avs, to be honest. I expect them to lean heavily into Mackenzie Blackwood when they do get to the playoffs, but we'll see.
I think that's where they'll probably start, but it would be a real shock to me if Scott Wedgwood doesn't factor into whatever postseason run they have.
Mm-hmm.
Just save your backup for the conference finals. That's the 2022 strategy.
Poke one of them in the eye, and then you're set.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. It's, to be clear, this is the Colorado Avalanche in the driver's seat. They are in not just complete control of their own destiny, but they should be able to take care of business down the stretch and secure the 1 seed and the President's Trophy. Frankly, no one in the East is all that close at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty clear that would be the best outcome. We talk about some of the wild card jostling on who you want to play. When you're looking at potentially playing Minnesota or Dallas in round 1, the best way for the Avs to go is just to steer clear of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Full stop.
Yeah, you really don't. I'm going to pick Dallas in that series, assuming health and all that. I'm picking Dallas easily, but Minnesota is going to be such a war.
Yeah.
Whoever gets them it's going to have to go to war with them. It's not going to be a fun series. You're going to come out of it battered and bruised, and it's not going to feel like it's such a huge thing to win the division this year because of that. Would you rather get like San Jose or Nashville, LA, Seattle, or do you want Minnesota in round 1? The jump there, you go from playing a team that is going to be like the 20th best in the NHL by the time the postseason hits, or the 4th best.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a huge difference in the, you talk about path. There's a huge difference there. So they need to finish this job. They've put themselves in good position. They're still there. They just have to finish it off now.
Yep.
I think that's a fair and reasonable way to look at it. It does feel a little bit different this year, and this is not to intentionally dunk on Winnipeg. But when you look at the playoffs of the last couple of years out west, the path forward of one of Minnesota or Dallas is a lot different than one of the teams that comes out of it taking care of Winnipeg, the way the Avs did in the first round or the way Dallas did in the second round the other year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a tougher path this year. It just is.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Jets the last couple of years were little paper tigers. We talked about it in each, like their goaltending, Hellebuck's brilliance. He had to be literally an MVP caliber player to elevate them to where they were. They were a little bit better in all areas of their team. They had a couple of guys that they lost that were really important to them, but those were two Jets teams that you looked at and were like, these guys are really susceptible to an early flame out, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
It's not to say that the Avs or the Stars wouldn't be susceptible to losing in round 1 either. It's hockey. Anything can happen. We know this. Mm-hmm. But it would be a pretty substantial upset. Substantial.
Okay. As we do just about every 20 games, playoff predictions. Right now today, tell me your Western Conference final. Obviously, chat, don't take this too seriously. We're doing this on the spot.
Take this super seriously and clip it.
Give me Colorado and Utah.
Utah coming through the Pacific.
I have no respect for the Pacific Division. I think Anaheim's a joke. Vegas has not won a game in regulation against an actual playoff team since November 20th. That's a long time. And as with Edmonton, like I just don't. I don't trust their goalies. I'm not.
Understandable.
I the bottom of that team is so much worse than the last couple of years. Their depth is so much worse. So, yeah, I'm not. Give me Colorado and Utah because it'll Colorado, Utah, or Dallas and Utah. One of those. Those are the only ones that I think make sense to me today, right now, in this moment.
Given someone, and I know they don't have as much help on the LTIR side of things this year, I'm going to go Avs Vegas.
I think that's a very reasonable take.
Yeah, no, they have, again, even without their, handicaps to help them this season, like they have a lot of playoff experience. And maybe this is also just me selfishly not wanting to see one of the Mammoth or Edmonton. For as much as I'd love to go back to Salt Lake, it was beautiful, but
I get not wanting to fly to Edmonton.
Yeah, no, I just with their playoff experience, with how much success they have seen over the last couple of years, it's going to be Vegas or Utah for me, and I lean towards Vegas.
Yeah. Look, Vegas has the experience on the high end, right? You cannot sleep on Jack Eichel, Tomas Hertl, Mark Stone, assuming he's healthy, which he will be for the playoffs. A number of other pieces that make them really strong. However, their defense might be a problem.
It is a problem. They have a bad goaltending tandem that they couldn't figure out at the deadline. Rasmus Anderson at the moment has been a bust for them. They never replaced Alex Pietrangelo. It's everything I talked about in the offseason when I said, yeah, adding Mitch Marner is great, but you never replaced Pietrangelo. They got really expensive deal to do it with Anderson, and it hasn't gone very well at the moment. Like they have 29 wins in 65 games. Like I just don't have a lot of love for that roster.
Fair.
You look at Edmonton, and I'm not convinced they're any good past their 5 best players.
Yeah. They're just not a complete team.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
In my mind. Like, yes, that head-to-head matchup is fantastic and really fun to watch. But outside of that, I mean, they've got the offensive touch. What else?
Right. Their defense, the last couple of years in the playoffs, Matthias Ekholm has fallen off of a cliff, and they still get by.
Darnell Nurse is such a chaotic. Like,
you either get him on a really good night or really bad night, and there's no in between.
When the refs aren't actively throwing Nathan McKinnon out of the game for something he did, Darnell Nurse is bad.
Stupid.
And then you look at the other options of what's left in that division. Why not have fun? Why not make it Colorado Anaheim in the conference finals?
It would be fun to have Bednar Quenneville head to head in the conference final. Like that would be a fun coaching matchup. And as we've seen, when Dostal is on, man, he's on.
Yep.
Like
scary.
He's really good. He's really, really good. But
none of that changes the reality series, though. Like,
I don't buy Anaheim even getting out of the first round because their defense
Utah.
is bad. Their defense is bad. Utah is much better defensively than Anaheim is, and we know that so often that determines postseason series. The team that's going to make the extra mistake, and in my mind right now, that's the Ducks.
I think that's totally fair.
I've been in on Utah all season, so it's just a good excuse for me to keep doing that.
I'm just tired of having the Vegas Edmonton conversation. I want something different to happen in the Pacific.
As long as Edmonton does not get to another Stanley Cup final, to that's their talk about a slaying their demons type run.
As we are in overtime here, the conversation continues online at the DNVR.com. Obviously, it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. You talked about that earlier. On paper, it's really, really hard for me to see someone from the Pacific coming out of the conference finals. The Central Division is just the better division.
Fair.
The top three
We
teams
keep
in the
saying
Central
that,
are
though.
better.
We've said this the last couple of years, and it's been Edmonton, because going through the easier bracket leaves you a lot fresher once you get to, like, going through that Vancouver team a couple of years ago. They barely scraped through that series, and that Canucks team just wasn't very good.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
Going through the Pacific is just it's an easier path, and that leaves you a little bit more refreshed once you get to the conference final. Whereas Dallas keeps having to go through Colorado, which they've beaten the Avs straight up, but it's been a war.
It's destroyed
to go
them.
through them the last couple of years, and then even Dallas Winnipeg last year. Yeah, they dispatched Winnipeg, but still it's a tougher series than going through like the bums that have been coming out of the Pacific for years.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. If Edmonton does it again, you'll tip their cap to them.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's get through the next 17, 18 games first, and then we can worry about this stuff. But
Yep.
because it's going to be a great stretch drive. The Avalanche have an easier schedule than the Stars. Both teams have predominantly home games. They play each other a couple of times, but the Avs' end of season schedule is not hard. Like,
One
they're
of the
trying
easiest ones left.
Well,
Yeah.
their April schedule, they go Vancouver, Dallas, St. Louis, Calgary, Vegas, Edmonton, Calgary, Seattle. It's not a murderer's row.
No.
It kind of looks like the teams that Dallas won.
Their
Dallas
10-game
beat on
streak
their
in a row.
10-game
Yeah.
win streak.
Yeah.
Where it's like it was a whole collection of teams that are worrying about their lotto odds, not good teams.
You're also talking about a team that only has one more back-to-back left.
Thank God.
Yeah, one more 2-day stretch.
Yeah, and that
between
is
games.
that back-to-back is April 13th and 14th at Edmonton at Calgary. So
Yeah.
they got the easier opponent on the second game. That's the setup that you want.
Yep.
And by then you're hoping that the seeding is wrapped up.
Yeah.
Like
Or at least as wrapped up as it can be, with the East
Yeah.
making things difficult.
you're not sweating. You're
Right.
not sweating whatever's going on in your postseason seeding.
Right.
All right. I think we are good for today. We're going to wrap it up. Of course, tomorrow, game day again, pregame, watch along, postgame. You know the drill. Join us for that. But we hope you enjoyed. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, and we will see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.